Good evening. I'm Linda Halpern, Vice Provost for University Programs at James Madison University. My office serves as the Dean's Office for students who are undeclared or undecided about their major. I want to welcome you all to this live chat session this evening, and I want to start off by giving you one important fact, which is that undeclared or undecided is the single largest major amongst incoming students at James Madison University. I'm with some great colleagues this evening to talk to you a little bit about their programs and also about the ways in which students find a major which is a good fit for them. So I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Riley Belton. I am the College of Education academic advisor. So I help students find majors who want to be teachers or work anything in the schools.
Hi, I'm Brooks Hefner. I'm a professor in the English department.
Hi, my name is Danielle Gallagher, and I'm an academic advisor in the College of Business, specifically for the Computer Information Systems major and for first years.
Hi, my name is Steve Leslie. I'm the department head and professor in geology and environmental science.
Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Bachman, and I'm a professor in integrated science and technology.
And I'm going to ask my colleagues to start by just sharing with you a little bit about each of their academic programs.
So I'm going to start telling you about the College of Education. There are so many majors in the College of Education and different pathways toward becoming a teacher. Many of our programs lead to eligibility just from the completion of your undergrad degree, like elementary education, special education, middle grades education, secondary education. But we also have some programs that are undergrad and graduate combined. So there's so many different ways that you can customize. There were over 1,000 unfilled teaching jobs in Virginia at the beginning of the 2019-2020 school year. So we definitely need teachers, and we're really excited to help students like yourself kind of figure out what your passion is and get working with students.
So the English major at JMU really offers a whole lot in terms of variety. We have literature courses, everything from Shakespeare to science fiction. We offer film, history and film criticism courses, creative writing, cultural studies courses. And part of our goal is really to develop students as sophisticated readers and writers and communicators across a variety of written genres, skills that we believe really translate well across a variety of careers after you graduate.
The Computer Information Systems major is one of 8 majors within the College of Business. I think about computer information systems as computing in context. So we're looking at how are we going to analyze a business problem and develop information systems as a solution to that problem. What I find really interesting about our major is that we have about 600 students in the major, 250 of which come in declared CIS as a first year student. So that means over 50% of our majors come over to CIS while they are a student here at JMU. Most of those students coming over from being undeclared, computer science or engineering, and also from within the College of Business. And a lot of that has to do with students love technology, but aren't quite at the point where they want to be the person building technology or doing the actual coding and things like that, but they like the context of how do I implement it within a business.
Hi, I'm in the Department of Geology and Environmental Science, and we're in the College of Science and Mathematics. There's 5 departments in the College of Science and Mathematics. And the program that I represent, we've got 100 to 125 majors, depending on when you take our temperature, I guess, and count us. Graduate around 30 students a year out of the program. We have a Bachelor of Science in Geology and a Bachelor of Arts in Earth Science. And one of the things about my program and all of the programs in the College of Science and Mathematics is it's really undergraduate research focused and undergraduate research based. We're a predominantly undergraduate institution. We focus solely on research experiences with undergraduates. We have lots of opportunities for you to come and learn by doing in the labs. One of the things that I think makes us a little bit unique at JMU in the sciences and undergraduate in particular, at least in the areas that I'm familiar with, is that a lot of places you go and you learn about equipment, and you learn about doing science. Here we do it with the students, and you're in the labs with the faculty, learning by doing.
And with the integrated science and technology program, similar to what Steve told you, we also believe in that learning by doing. And our goal is to provide these timeless thinking skills that are appropriate for real world problems. I'm very excited about the ISAT major because it's unique in the country, in that it provides you with a foundation in a broad range of the scientists, from biotechnology to energy to environmental science, information knowledge management, internet security, and telecom. And we give a foundation at the freshman level for that. And then as you go up, you get to choose and customize how your program evolves. So you can choose to focus in one of those areas. And alongside of that, we're also giving you what we call these holistic problem-solving skills. And to me, they're really valuable and really amazing in a lot of different scenarios, from things as complex as climate change and all that's involved with that, to the current problem we're facing with coronavirus. There's actually a tremendous amount of technology and science being applied to address this. Just like we are tonight doing our meeting through the Zoom system and through Facebook and technology, it's really shaping a lot of how we deal with things today. And I think coming out of this coronavirus, we're going to see even stronger that the reliance on science and technology is really shaping our world and will help us come out of this even stronger.
Thank you all. I see we are starting to have questions from our student audience. First question is, when does a student need to decide on a major by? Is there a timeline that works best to begin working on a specific major? Danielle, you want to take that one for us?
Great, yes, absolutely. Prior to my time as the CIS advisor, I also worked as an undeclared advisor sometimes, so I can speak to this. Depending on the major that you're interested in, you should consider different timelines. There's some majors at JMU that will take you through a 4-year sequence, some a 3-year sequence. So you want to start talking to your first year advisor early on about what are some of the majors you're considering, and they can help you and guide you towards whether or not you should be starting some classes in that major already. There's also some majors where you can take some introductory courses early on. And sometimes that means being declared that major, sometimes it doesn't. Again, that's where your first year advisor is probably best first and can help guide you that way.
Oh, forgive me, everybody. I thought I'd push the button. The question I see from a student is when to start a journey to become a veterinarian and what majors are most appropriate. And I'd like to answer that one myself. We have a wonderful pre-professional health advising office that prepares students for I think 8 or 9 different health professional graduate programs after an undergraduate degree. And one of those graduate fields is veterinary education. Many students who want to be veterinarians choose to be biology majors. But for almost all pre-professional health fields, you can actually choose almost any academic major and follow the minor, which has the appropriate math and science courses to be prepared for that particular graduate program. You can get a lot more information about all of the individual pre-professional health preparation programs by logging onto their website, which you can easily find by searching at JMU. I see another question here. When will I be assigned an advisor? And that happens for most students after you declare your major as one of the one book steps. When you pay your deposit to JMU, you are invited to become part of this wonderful community through a website and a book called One Book. And then you go through steps. And one of those steps is declaring your major. And once you have declared your major, then you can be assigned an academic advisor. I'd like to ask one more question of my colleagues. Perhaps you would share with this group of undeclared students joining us this evening one good story of how a student found your major, because I think that will help everybody understand the many pathways available to students to find the major that's the best fit for them.
I'm very excited to share how students find education. Sometimes students come to JMU and they've known since, I don't know, 5th grade that they want to be a teacher. And that's great. But there's a lot of times when students come to JMU and they're not certain, and they go into a field and they start doing some classes and they're kind of trying out some things. Maybe they end up TAing for a lab or helping a professor doing some research, or they're working with their classmates and helping their friends study. And they start to realize they really, really enjoy helping people learn and just helping people grow in skills and knowledge. So many of my conversations with students actually are with students who are sophomores or juniors who decide, I want to be a teacher. How do I do that? And that's my job, is to walk students through that pathway. For example, just this week, I was talking with a student who was thinking they were going to go into physical therapy. They were going to do their pre-physical therapy. They were going to do the doctorate physical therapy program at some other schools. And they just realized, I like teaching. I like being in sort of an instructor capacity. And so we talked about how that would turn over and what that would look like for them. And we created a plan, and it's going to work out.
So I can talk a little bit about a couple of the ways that students find the English major, or find their way to the English major, because I think there are a lot of examples of this. One is that most JMU students take English as a general education requirement. One of our courses of American literary history, British literary history, or one of these other courses like literature in the environment, which is a really popular course, or we even have a general education course on literature of epidemics. And so students may walk into this class thinking that it's purely a general education class, fulfilling a requirement. And I think one of the things that happens there is the students find a real passion for reading and for writing about literature, and for thinking about some of these complex questions about the relationship of literature and culture to social movements, to American or world history, and to social problems that we might be facing even right at this moment. And so a lot of our students find our major when their passion for reading and writing really is activated in a general education course.
That's great, Brooks. Thank you. I'm going to ask Danielle to answer another question. We have Ethan, who is starting JMU as a psych major, but wants to switch into the School of Business and wants to know about the best route. So I'll let Danielle answer that question.
Great. Good question, Ethan. This is a very common path, going from psych to the College of Business. While you are going through the one book process and the orientation process, you're going to have multiple opportunities that you can switch your major over. At this point, you can contact first year advising, and they can go ahead and switch your major over. This is important because if you can switch your major before then, it'll allow you to get a first year advisor within the College of Business, who can then help you create your best path through the College of Business.
We have another question here from Carly, who wants to know, will going into JMU undecided still allow you to graduate in 4 years? And I think Steve can answer that question.
Yeah, Carly, that's a great question. And you know, it is true. The sooner you decide what your major is going to be, the easier it is to get through in 4 years. So we would never tell somebody to put it off to the fourth year to decide what your major is going to be. But I'm in a program that we consider ourselves generally to be a found major. Most students, I'll bet most of the people out there watching, have not had a geology class while they're in high school, and they come to JMU and they learn about what geology is, or they've taken it as a general education course, or they know somebody that's a roommate or in a dorm with them, and they start talking about it, and they come and talk to us. And we work you through that process. And so the key to this is to stay in communication with your advisor. You're going to be given a freshman advisor, and talk to your freshman advisor and get and let them know what your thoughts are. Talk to the faculty that are in your classes as you move through as an undecided major, as you've taken classes. If something is interesting to you, just go right up to your faculty member that's teaching that class and talk to them about it. Or just go right up to the department. I'm a department head, and nothing makes my day more than when somebody walks up into our department and says, hey, I'm thinking about being a geology or earth science major. And so I think the key to that is to communicate. Make sure you're talking with your your academic advisor. Talk to faculty, but yes, coming in as undeclared is not most people, it's the largest major, as Dean Helpert said before, is that it's where most people start. And so it's a great place to start.
We have a lot of questions coming in. I'd like to turn to Richard's question now. If you're considering a few different majors, is there someone able to help you make your decision? And Chris Bachman will answer this.
All right, and that's pretty common, Richard, and I think that's a great question. And now's the time for you to be thinking about what kind of education is going to give you yourself the most benefit. And so I would recommend that you think about three things that you're good at, things that you enjoy doing, and that things that maybe you could continue in a career that'll have value to help you support yourself and your family in the future. And in order for you to narrow that down, I think all the faculty at JMU would be more than happy to talk to you. I actually have had a number of students that are non-majors or from other majors come and talk to me. And our office hours are always open, and they're open to all students at JMU. And so once you have some idea of the majors that you have an interest in, then go to the faculty and stop by their office hours and talk one-on-one with them. Let them share their stories and hear more about you. And that'll give you more information to make that decision. Ultimately, it's going to be your decision to make. And I think going and getting this information from a variety of different faculty at JMU will really help you see what these majors are all about. So I'd be more than happy to talk with you about that, either online, even if you want to send your info, or when classes resume in the fall, by all means, come on by and I'll sit down and talk with you.
We're sure getting a lot of great questions. I'm going to ask Riley to take the question on how often a student meets with the advisor. This is a question from Ayla a little earlier this evening. Based on your own experience would be a great answer.
Sure. Thanks, Ayla, for writing in. Advisors are there to be a resource for you. We are here to help you be successful on campus. And the way that we can help you be successful is for you to meet with us. So you're going to be meeting with your advisors on campus, especially when during that first semester. It's going to be so great for you to meet with them, talk about what your interests are, kind of what like what Chris Bachman was talking about. What are your interests? What are your skills? And they can help you narrow things down, but they can also help you select classes that you're going to be registering for the fall, the summer. They can help you explore options. They can help you explore different clubs and organizations and ways to get connected on campus. So the more interactions that you have with your advisor, the better. It's going to help you have a very rich experience. So I really encourage you to take advantage of that. They're there. They're there to help you. And they're there to support you. So initiate those conversations and build relationships with them.
So I'm going to move to another great question from Kristen. I understand that a person can get a Bachelor of Science or a Bachelor of Arts degree in business. What is the difference between them? Danielle, maybe you can answer that for us.
Yes. Okay. So at JMU, there's a number of different degrees that you can earn, the Bachelor of Arts and the Bachelor of Science being two options. Within the College of Business, we do offer a Bachelor of Arts and a Bachelor of Science in economics and a Bachelor of Science in quantitative finance. The rest of our majors are considered Bachelors of Business Administration. So for example, my CIS students are earning a Bachelor's of Business Administration, which means they are completing the BBA core in addition to their major requirements. So that includes 2 economics courses, 2 accounting courses, 2 business analytics courses, computer information systems course, and calculus, all to earn your BBA degree. A Bachelor of Science and a Bachelor of Arts would have their own individual requirements to earn those degrees.
Great, thanks. Here's another good question from Jeff. If you come in as an undecided major, can you still have a minor while you're undecided? Brooks, you want to take that one?
Sure, I'd be happy to. And you can correct me if I'm wrong here, Dean Halpern. But as far as I know, you can have a minor while you're thinking. And in fact, a lot of students will start might start with a minor or have a major declared and a minor in another subject and then decide to double major after they realize they've already exceeded the minor requirements. Part of the reason I wanted to respond to your question, Jeff, because I think it's a really great one, is there are actually a lot of minors at JMU that are interdisciplinary minors. That is, minors that cross traditional disciplines. We have a number of these that touch the English department in various ways, some closer than others, but they're really a lot of exciting work in these interdisciplinary minors, and some students find that they can build these minors very easily out of courses that they've already taken for their major and a few other electives. So it's quite easy to get minors in American Studies, or Latin American and Caribbean Studies, medical humanities, women, gender, and sexuality studies. These are some of the minors that we often see paired with the English major, but really across the College of Arts and Letters, they're quite common.
I would just like to add to that JMU minors are a wonderful way to enrich and broaden your educational background and your career preparedness. And we have something like 80 different minors, everything from foreign languages to the kinds of area studies programs that Professor Hefner was talking about, and minors in many of the departments represented here tonight and many of the others. So it's a wonderful way to think about the breadth of your education and ways to follow the things that you care most about personally. We also would like to hear a little bit, I think, from our panelists tonight about the kinds of things that students that graduate from your programs do in their careers and post-undergraduate lives. I would like to invite perhaps Professor Bachman to start that conversation, and my colleagues to join in after that as you wish.
Oh, great. So this story, I think, will resonate with a lot of folks that are in the undecided category right now. It's about a former student named Brent Kiamal, who originally thought college was not for him. And so he enlisted in the Army, and he was stationed in Iraq. And then after serving his time, he came back to the United States. He found JMU. He found the ISAT program, and he joined us. And he went through our science program and learned a little bit about the biotech, the environment, the energy. And then he wound up working with me doing some work in alternative fuels and in energy. And then after graduation, he got hired for Blossman Gas, went down to North Carolina, helped design their newest facility, had the governor come out and do the ribbon cutting ceremony and everything. But he had always had this back feeling like maybe he should be his own business person. He should start his own business. And he realized that a lot of these new electronic devices were escalating and becoming more prominent in the world. And he had done another project where he saw energy monitors being installed, these small little devices that can track your energy use. And he had taken some programming, again, as part of our degree. You have to do a little bit of computer programming too. And he was brainstorming with a few of his friends, and they came up with an idea that would involve some manufacturing, some computing, some of these other skills that were not where he chose to kind of focus in his educational path, but he got experience with that in the ISAT program. And lo and behold, him and his friends got together and decided they would launch their own company. And they make small electronic devices. He had to brush up on his programming skills, brush up on his manufacturing. They make their own printed circuit boards. They do all their own programming, and they are now making original products for original equipment manufacturers, things like John Deere or Case or Ford Motor Company. And they have these little monitors that sort of keep track of a bunch of the things in these pieces of machinery that they're doing. And he's not the only one of our alumni that have done this. Within ISAT, you seem to get exposed to all of these different areas, but you don't get a lot of depth. You sort of get a little bit of that. And then after folks have gone out into the working world, as maybe a lot of you are hearing, that folks are changing jobs after a few years, and they're moving around until they really find that right fit. And what I've seen with the ISAT degree is because they have enough understanding of the basic language, and they have these kind of basic principles on how to be a critical thinker and how to analyze a scenario and be cognizant of stakeholders and these other things that complement the hardcore scientific skills, they're able to make these transitions rather seamlessly. And we see a lot of our alumni really redirecting their career until they find something that works well for them. And that fellow Brent that I mentioned has done extremely well with his business. And we have a few others that before they were 30 years old were able to become millionaires running their own business. So a lot of entrepreneurship there, a lot of creativity, which I think we see in a lot of our majors too. So it's been very good for them.
So I'd also like to talk a little bit about some alumni experiences that come from our English program. I mentioned earlier that one of the things that we pride ourselves on is developing communication, sort of research, analytical writing skills. And this translates in a lot of different ways. We have a great relationship with the School of Ed, and we have a lot of graduates who end up going into education, either at the secondary level, teaching middle and high school, or go on to graduate school and seek to become professors of literature themselves. We have creative writers who've worked in Hollywood. We have, but we also have people who are using these skills in really interesting ways. So law school is one really common outcome from the English program, right? And we've had people go on and do extremely well as lawyers because that's a profession that requires an immense amount of critical reading and writing skills. I've had a number of students myself who've gone on to work for the FBI, also a research intensive kind of role. And so whether it's working in advertising and communications, working in the State Department or in the FBI, or working in education, students that come out of our programs do a wide variety of things. And I think like Dr. Bachman said, there is the sense in which, sometimes it's not the thing that you do at age 23 that is the thing that you will always do. And so students often find their way. And I think programs like the ones you're hearing about here are programs that really instill some core skills into students that can be translatable across a variety of different kind of contexts.
I'd like to share a little bit about what some of our graduates are doing and what being trained as a teacher can mean for you. It has many benefits. While students who complete our program tend to go the teaching route, for other students, it's a stepping stone to other opportunities. Some students go on to become principals or administrators in school districts. Some students go on to continue their education and then teach at the college level. Some students apply their teaching skills to professions outside of the school system. We've had several students go on to become Fulbright scholars and apply what they know in research and international teaching situations. The skills that you learn in our program are so transferable. They're so applicable in any job opportunity that comes your way. Even if you teach for 3 years, you have amazing experiences that you can pull from to apply going forward. So our alumni are out there. They're in high demand. JMU has over 100 years of experience in training teachers. And so we are well known, and our scholars definitely show that, and they continue that out today.
Yeah, and I can add on just a little bit to that same story, which is basically, and I think you're hearing this from each of us, and that is these transferable skill sets and the idea that you don't have to be locked into precisely what you were studying as an undergraduate. The 18-year-old who you are doesn't have to control who the 30-year-old that you're going to be is going to be doing for a career. And at the same time, we understand that pressure that you feel that, you want to get a job when you graduate with a degree. And I'll talk a little bit about our program. We have tremendous connections with the environmental consulting industry, for example. Environmental Consulting Services is a big corporation that has offices all up and down the East Coast. And we have tens, can't say hundreds, I don't think, but I can say tens of alums that work for ECS, and they recruit right out of our programs. We've got courses that develop specific skill sets that they're looking for. In addition to those skill sets, one of the reasons that we do the research and with our students is that you learn the soft skills as well of presentation, and being able to write well is really important. Being able to read well is really important, and those skill sets are reinforced throughout the entire curriculum, so that when you get that job, when you graduate, there's a pathway forward for you, because a lot of times that next rung up the ladder or the lateral move isn't precisely in the field that you've decided that you are going to get your undergraduate degree in. And I think one of the hallmarks that we have at JMU is that we build that whole program for you both in our general education curriculum, and it's reinforced a lot of times in the capstones that many of our majors offer.
I love hearing about how transferable all y'all's skills are. And, I can talk to this personally. I graduated from JMU with a degree in mathematics from the secondary ed program. I'm not a math teacher, but every single day as I'm advising students, I'm constantly pulling from the things that I learned from obviously my background in secondary education, but also the critical thinking and analysis skills that I gained from my math background. And that's something I talk to my students about every day as well, is that, the program that you're in right now might not be your end job, but what we're teaching you in this program are those skills that are going to be transferable throughout your career. And so I think that's where a lot of our CIS majors are really popular hires, because not only do they have those technology skills, but they also have those business concepts and those interpersonal skills in order to move into leadership positions, be solid consultants, and then take those skills wherever they want to go.
I really appreciate what all of my colleagues have said about the importance of a well-rounded education in which one studies something one cares about deeply, but also learns transferable skills that can lead one on a wide variety of career pathways after college. You all have said it way better than I could have, so thank you all. And thank you all to all of the future JMU students who have joined us this evening. If we were not able to get to your questions during the panel, please leave your questions in the comment section and somebody will make sure to get you a response. You can also visit the Choices website. We very much appreciate your attention, your questions, your interest in James Madison University, and we look forward to seeing you in person sometime soon. Thank you and good night. You guys were great. I loved it. I would just like, if we could have written a script for some of that.